Today's topic of the lecture is instruments and research facilities behind the discovery of Raman Effect. Today we have with us dignitaries, speakers and VIPs. May I request now Professor Rajinder Singh, Professor A.C. Roy and Sri Arnab Chatterjee, Director BITM, to take their seat on the dais, please. Please welcome them with a round of applause. Today we have with us Professor Emeritus of Physics of Chandigarh University, Punjab, Dr. Rajinder Singh. Professor Singh is also attached with Research Group for Physics Education and Public Understanding of Science at the University of Oldenburg, Germany. He has authored numerous papers on different topics of physics, and he has also the credit in his name for writing more than 50 books on Indian scientists and Nobel Prize winners. Please have a round of applause for Professor Rajinder Singh. We have also Professor Suprakash Chandra Roy, former Professor and Head, Department of Physics, Bose Institute, Kolkata, former member of National Commission of History of Science, INSA, and also the chairman of the Steering Committee of National Science and Technology Digital Archive at BITM, Kolkata. Please have a round of applause for Professor C.V. We have Sri Arnab Chatterjee, Director BITM, with us, who is obviously the host too. Please have a round of applause for Sri Chatterjee. Now, I would like to request our Director, Sri Arnab Chatterjee, to felicitate Professor Rajinder Singh. Small gift for Professor Singh from BITM also.
Yeah, that is fine. Actually, due to such case, I like to come to Kolkata, because the Bengali knows how to honor the persons. If you would have given some thousand rupees, they would have never facilitated me. But this thing, it will stay in my office for many years. So that was for me more value, and it will also remind me of my visits.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now I would like to request our Director, Sri Arnab Chatterjee, sir, to felicitate Professor Suprakash Chandra Roy. Let's have a round of applause. Thank you, sir. Now, I will call the students from the audience to felicitate our Director, Sri Arnab Chatterjee, sir. Please. Please join us. The applause, the felicitation. Thank you, students. Now, at the very outset, I would request our director, Sri Arnav Chatterjee, to deliver the welcome address. Sir.
Dignitaries of the dais and Professor Rajinder Singh, Suproka sir, our former director sir present in the audience, and my dear students and our respected teachers. Warm welcome to BITM Kolkata. Sorry, I forgot to mention about Arnav Raichaudhuri sir as well. Sir, a very warm welcome to BITM Kolkata and a very good morning. Without staying in between you and the intended lecturer today, I'd like to quickly tell you two very basic requirements of maintaining and starting this project. You all know that I'll try to dilute it to the best possible extent so that you can understand the necessity of an archive. You all have heard that famous saying that standing on the shoulder of the giant, right? And so how an archive is related to this particular proverb? Thing is that whenever the researchers, the professors and other persons who are related to, who are actively engaged for doing research and development, they need to carry out some certain procedures, and many times it may so happen that what has already been done by our predecessors, they try to replicate that, and many times we go in the wrong direction, we take a wrong reference, and then after wastage of good amount of money and time, we get to know that the approach that we have taken is not right. So in case of doing active research, archives can play a pivotal role. We can take reference from those of the documents readily available in a structured way, and we should not waste our time for doing something that has already been done and doing something that shouldn't be done. So taking a reference from this perspective, these archives and other things used to play a pivotal role. Moreover, India has a legacy of S&T activities, right from before the time of history and all. We have Aryabhatta and Charaka and a number of other people from the ancient ages who have actively participated in the S&T activities. And unfortunately today, when we talk about archival and other things, we do not have ready access to all those documents, and I myself even not very sure whether if I try whether instantly I can get a copy of that even. So forget about the original document restored or kept in an archival in a very structured way. So when we try to take a reference of what has been done in a age-old time, we fail to do that. But archival, I mean the initiative that we have taken will help us structuring those information in our in a cloud, in a very modern technique, using all modern techniques, and even after decades, even hopefully maybe after a century, we all will be able to access those information and what had happened even prior to that, prior to these days. So that way, I hope this archive activity, this archive program will help a number of students and researchers in future to take true direction, to give true direction, proper direction to their research with the help of this kind of structured information. With these two things, I won't prefer to stay in between you and the speakers for long, and thanks for coming. Have a pleasant stay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your warm welcome address. Now, I request Professor Suprakash Chandra Roy to introduce the speaker and to tell us something about the lecture. Sir.
Good morning to everybody. Good morning. It's an honor for me to chair the second public engagement lecture organized by the National Science and Digital Archive at BITM. And I am very happy to see Shubhabrato Chaudhary the immediate past director in the audience, and also Oldenburg, who was associated with the archive but was not present in the first engagement lecture. So I'm happy to see Arnav here in the audience. So now it's a joy for me to introduce my friend Rajinder Singh before this august audience and in this historical institution. The BITM, the Birla Industrial Technological Museum, established in 1959, is the first science museum in India under the ambit of central government. So you are at this historic institution, and for the benefit of Rajinder and the students present here, I will give a brief background of this historic institution. The place, the premises on which you are standing here, or the BITM is situated, is originally of the Birla family. I will go into details later maybe, but what I'm saying to first is that the BITM has a connection with the German. Rajinder will be happy to know that thing, because in 1950s, Dr. Bidhan Chandra Rai, the then Chief Minister of West Bengal, visited Germany and visited the museum in Munich, Deutsche Museum in Munich, and was inspired to open a museum in India for the public engagement of science and technology to students and in general to the public of India. So that was the beginning of the BITM, and then the G.D. Birla, one of the noted businessmen in India, came forward and donated this piece of land to establish this museum. So that is the history of this museum. So now this has also some connections to this premises, has also some connection with the Tagore family. The Tagore family in 1898, they purchased this piece of land from a Muslim person, or the farmer, and Mira Devi, the fourth child of Rabindranath Tagore, was in this premises. So she spent her childhood in this premises. So this has a connection with the Tagore family. Later, Rabindranath Tagore, the nephew of Rabindranath Tagore, sold this thing to Birla. And since then, this premises is known as the Birla Park. And later it was changed in BITM, but the Birla Park was at that time it was known as Birla Park. So this is the history behind this museum. So it is a long history between the Rabindranath Tagore family and the Birla. Now back to Rajinder's introduction. I met Rajinder, or Rajinder met me more than a decade ago. That was an interesting event. While visiting Kolkata, to attend a seminar at Jadavpur University, Rajinder once appeared completely unnoticed to my office at Science and Culture. I was the editor-in-chief of the journal Science and Culture at that time, and my office was at Raja Bajar Science College. As you know, the Science and Culture is a very old journal. It was established in 1935 by eminent people like Meghnad Shah, Acharya Praful Chandra Roy, P.C. Mahalanabish and others. So he came unnoticed in one afternoon to meet me. It was a pleasant surprise for me. During discussion with him, I found some elements of dedication and passion inside Rajinder. And I requested Rajinder to contribute articles in Science and Culture. And he contributed articles, about 20 articles, published in the Science and Culture, sometimes independently, sometimes myself as a co-author with Rajinder. So that way I was introduced to Rajinder, and I found Rajinder really a sincere person, and that's why my friendship is still continuing. And this is the beginning of writing the books on history of science also, because we decided to write on that day, write on the D.M. Bose. The D.M. Bose, Devendra Mohan Bose, who is a noted physicist and who is a nephew of Acharya Jagadish Chandra Bose, was the director of the Bose Institute after the demise of Jagadish Chandra Bose. And D.M. Bose was a physicist on his own, great physicist on his own right. He worked with C.T.R. Wilson in England, and he is a student of Albert Einstein when he was in Germany. So we decided, but nobody knows much about the D.M. Bose's physics activities, and no book was written by that time. So we decided to pursue in writing a book on D.M. Bose. And we wrote a book which was published by Bose Institute on the occasion of the centenary of the Bose Institute in 2017. And thereafter we wrote another many books regarding that. I will come to that later. Now, so this is the beginning of the friendship with Rajinder, starting with science and culture and the writing books. Now, as you know from the poster, that the Rajinder is an emeritus professor at Chandigarh University and is associated with the research group for physics education and public understanding at Oldenburg University. Rajinder started, as far as I know, Rajinder started writing on history of science about around 1997. And he did his PhD from University of Hamburg on Nobel laureate C.V. Raman's work on light scattering, historical contributions to a scientific biography. So his initial, the beginning of Rajender's work on history of science is related with the C.V. Raman. And so he will speak here on the C.V. Raman's discovery and what is behind the C.V. Raman's discovery and Raman Effect. So Rajinder Singh is a avid historian of science. He, as you have heard already, that he has written more than 50 books, and out of which 10 has been authored with me and the co-author with this book. And Rajinder prefers to write books on biography of Indian scientists whose work on science or development of science is enormous, but many people do not know their contribution. So that is the beauty of the Rajender's writing of the books on the part. One glaring example is a book on Biha Chaudhary. As you know, Biha Chaudhary was a female scientist born in 1913 and worked in about the 1930s. She did an excellent work, equivalent to Nobel Prize work while she was in Bose Institute, and then went to Manchester and came back on the invitation of the Homi Bhabha and joined TIFR. And she was the first woman scientist joined in TIFR. Even with this remarkable achievement, nobody knows what. Even in the physics community, very few people know her name and what. So we wrote an article, we wrote a book on the Biha Chaudhary, and people know that. So this is the philosophy of writing the book on scientists whose contribution is enormous but not known to many people. I visited Rajender's place in Oldenburg this year, and I found his office is an archive full of documents obtained from various organizations like Nobel Committee, like the Royal Society of England, everywhere. So it's really an archive. I was amazed to see that thing. I knew that Rajinder write books on basis of the documents. Without documentary evidence, Rajinder not put anything on the book. But I didn't know that it is so vast his office is. Rajinder lives a very simple life. As I have said, his only passion is writing books. He has, as you understand, he has written about more than 50 books in about 12 years' time, 12, 13 years. So you can understand the enormous time he spent in writing books. I went there, I found that there is a designated or called the signature park of Rajinder, where he spends his evening taking a glass of beer and lighting there. And there is a corner in the restaurant is kind enough to make a corner in the restaurant for Rajinder, one chair and one table, and a bookcase containing the books written by Rajinder. So he spent the whole day after his office. He spent the entire day, entire time in writing books. That is why he could write the 55 books. And he enjoys beer in the evening, and he is too German. So I think with this brief introduction, I can request Rajinder to deliver his talk, which is the instruments and research facilities behind the discovery of Raman Effect. I am sure you will hear the lecture from a person who is a master on this subject. He knows every bit of the Raman's discovery, how the Raman's Effect was discovered, details of it. So anyone have any doubt, any question after hearing his lecture, I am sure you can ask question and you will get the proper answers from Rajinder. Rajinder, please.
Thank you, sir.